Hello, good afternoon. Are you trapped in the illusion of time? Hello, my name is Martin Coward, and welcome to the noonday meditation and contemplative power hour, where we come together every day at noon, Monday through Saturday, to love and support each other on this journey through this wildly exciting time in the history of humankind. What's wildly is exciting about this is we're all in different places in this journey, and we need each other as we move through it to help each other guide us through it without getting lost and afraid. And one of the things that COVID-19 has made me realize is we're timeless. There is no thing as time. And I just wonder how long you're going to be trapped in the illusion that there is time. It's painful. I spent the first half of my life, most of my adult life, chasing an arbitrary clock. A belief that I better do something to be successful, to make money, to prove I'm important and worthy of love. It was a fear-driven idea that there wasn't enough for me to go around. That God created a world of limited resources, and I better do something, I'm not quite sure what, but it better be important enough, earn the favor of others, and feel important and belong here. It is a very, very, very painful way to live. It's exhausting. Trying to create a false image of myself to make the world like me and approve me and want to belong, want to be part of. And I have to do it very quickly because time is running out. So I frantically would be doing this and doing that and never seemed to be in the right place at the right time doing the right thing because I was never achieving all the financial success goals that I kept praying God to give me. It was a trap. It was a trap to nowhere, all based on an enormous lie that there is a finite amount of resources and a finite amount of time for life to live. There's a finite amount of time for Martin to live in this body. But the life that's living through me is infinite. Infinite ability to create everything that you see is within all of us. And we wake up from that nightmare of a limited amount of time and a limited amount of resources. Oh, what joy we can feel. We simply get to be. We can stop doing and we can start being what we are. Love, unconditional love, and we can create from there. But the most exciting thing, and I've been practicing it while I've been in Puerto Rico, is called practicing the art of being divine. We can stop doing and start being divine, but it takes practice. Because even here in Puerto Rico, hey, Mindy, how are you doing today? So nice to see you. Have you ever been trapped in the illusion of time, thinking you better hurry up and get it all done before it's all over? What a crazy construct. Because when you realize it's just the unawareness of our spiritual nature. It's being stuck in those lower realms of the body and of the mind that has no idea of what infinity is. The binary brain's always got to add, subtract, cut in half. It's mathematical. So the idea of infinite, of spaciousness, emptiness, an invisible force that's creating everything is way beyond the idea, the construction, or the concept of the human mind. So because of that, we get trapped. And I think there's a need for that. It's not like being trapped for most of our life. I think we've been the first half of our life really encouraged to grow and be productive people in the world. So don't let me paint a terrible. Hey, Audrey, how you doing? Good to see you here today. Thank you for joining me. I'm still down in Puerto Rico, and this is really something I look forward to every day as I sit around looking at the beach and the beautiful scenery and put together the words and the ideas that I want to talk about at noon. And I'm, what I've discovered is that is practicing the art of being is this, because I realize that I'm not doing this right now. I'm not doing this. I'm just opened up to the idea. Here I am on the beach. Why Martin spinning with it? Because I just let go of the need to control the world and allow this marvelous life force within me to express itself. And I want to share that with you. Because the freedom I get and the joy I've gotten from letting go of that old construction, that old limiting belief that I'm not enough, and there's not enough money, and there's not enough of this, and I better get my own share because there's not enough time, and I better hurry up. Oh my God, that's exhausting. And it isn't the way life really is. And the problem with being caught in that trap is we miss the moment. Because the moment we're in right now is all there is. That is reality as it is. It's not like we have time. It's like there's a force constantly in motion, and we're it. And we can either choose to participate in that motion or not. Or we can say, I wanted to move my way. It's not moving my way because I want it to look like this. I want more breeze. I'll complain about the breeze at the beach. I want more breeze. So I'm going to be unhappy and I'm going to say, I'm not going to enjoy this moment because I got to have more breeze. Well, I can sit there and I can want more breeze. But I only have so much time to be here on the beach today. And if I don't get to enjoy it because there's not enough breeze, I'm not going to have a good time. See how silly? And then it grows into bigger constructs. It's like, I got to have this successful career. I got to be important. I got to do this, and that still comes into play. And it's okay to want to manifest certain things in our life. And I think, but if it comes from a place of service, I think that's what manifestation is. A lot of talk about manifestation and the law of attraction. And I think if it's some immature construct idea that I'm going to manifest a Mercedes in my driveway because I want one, and I'm going to ask God to manifest one because I want it, and then I'm going to test God to give it to me. Well, I'm missing the real true nature of manifestation. Manifestation is opening our hearts to allow the creative force within us to let us know what it wants to create. Maybe that's to be an on-stage public speaker, which is something that's been on my radar screen a lot lately. So I'm just letting myself go, and there's a part of my ego that wants to get there faster, get there quicker. But you know what? I have to let go of that and say, you know what? Life's just going to happen when it's going to happen. It's going to be creating my voice, creating my message. Maybe it's doing it right now. I think it is doing it right now. So I just share this with you because I want you to understand that we're all on this journey. And we're all also dealing with the same life challenges, if you will. The ego doing what it does. I mean, that's what the ego does. It isn't complete. It isn't whole. It's missing the spirit. It's missing the life force. So when we learn our true nature, when we experience our true nature, we don't learn it, we experience it through loving relationships with others and ourselves. The world takes on a whole new meaning. My lives take on a holy meaning. And then I have a sense of purpose of just getting out of the way and being. My mission is to create a world, a wonderful world of abundance by just showing up with love and gratitude. And I got this in a moment of truth, desperation, and I got that when we got it from a place of desperation of like I wasn't getting what I wanted, and this voice came in my head and it said, Martin, none of this stuff that you want so much matters. None of this stuff matters really. Let it all go. All you have to do is show up with love and gratitude. Meaning the divine within me, will do the rest. And I've been practicing that for quite a number of years. And Mindy's got, would you break down manifestation and desire? Yes, I will give you my best shot at that. The world, we're always manifesting. We're always creating. It's not like we can sort of not manifest. We are creators. We are designed that way. And where I would say it's what's creating the desire. If it's a heart's desire, if my heart's desire is to serve the planet and find ways to make the world better, to serve the planet, and if it's my heart's desire to make a lot of money doing that, to exchange where money becomes an expression of love so that others can I've got the resources I need to grow that opportunity, to build that wealth. That is a manifestation of the heart's desire. But if I have a deep desire for pleasure, for example, or comfort, then that's an egoic need to feel good about itself. And that's the best way I can break that down, is that it depends on where the desire is coming from. So the purpose of learning to, hey Jim, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Glad you joined us today. Wow, that's great to hear. Good to be heard by you. Thank you for joining us. I'm trying to break down manifestation and desire by a friend of mine, Mindy. And I hope that answered the question. Let me know if that makes some sense. I've always preferred the word creative, to be a creator versus a manifester. Because there's so much nonsense out there on YouTube and on the internet about manifestation, manifest a $10 million house on the beach, and because Wayne Dyer did it. Well, that's not how Wayne Dyer got the house on the beach. He got the house on the beach, a beautiful house in Hawaii, was an outcome of serving the planet and teaching the world about the truth of things. He was a spiritual teacher. So, and the outcome of that, the impact of that, the expression of love, the return, was the ability to live in a beautiful place on the beach, like I'm right now. It's the desire to serve is really what I would say. That comes from the heart, and to make a better planet. I want to read a little bit today from Eckhart Tolle because I'm talking about the power of now, and I think he offers a lot of insight into that right now, into what I'm talking about. Let me find a spot here. So I'm going to read a little bit from Eckhart Tolle's Practicing the Power of Now. And if you've never read The Power of Now, or pick it up and read it, at least pick up his book on the Practicing the Power of Now, because it puts it into really short forms. And let's see what he has to say today, because I think he's pretty insightful. With the timeless dimension comes a different kind of knowing. one that does not kill the spirit that lives within every creature and everything, a knowing that does not destroy the sacredness and mystery of life, but contains a deep love and reverence for all that is, and knowing of which the mind knows nothing. It's that cloud of unknowing. The heart knows, but the mind has no idea. Break the old pattern of present moment denial and present moment resistance. Make it your practice to withdraw attention from past and future whenever they are not needed. Step out of the time dimension as much as possible in everyday life. If you find it hard to enter the now directly, start by observing the habitual tendency of your mind to want to escape from the now. You will observe that the future is usually imagined as either better or worse than the present. It gives you hope or pleasurable anticipation. If it's worse, the future, it creates anxiety, and both are illusionary. Through self-observation, more presence comes into your life automatically. The moment you realize you are not present, you are present. Whenever you're able to observe your mind, you are no longer trapped in it. Another factor has come in, something that is not of the mind, the witnessing presence, the creative genius within us, the creative life force. You become aware that that's who we are. Being present as the watcher of your mind, of your thoughts and emotions, as well as your reactions in various situations. Be at least interested in your reactions as in the situation or person that causes you to react. Notice also how often your attention is in the past or future. Don't judge or analyze what you observe. Watch the thought, feel the emotion, and observe the reaction. What I'm constantly telling myself when I go to the beach, stop thinking and start feeling. Feel it. Don't think about the beach. I'm standing here right at it. Feel it. What does it feel like to be standing on the beach? Let go of what the beach is supposed to feel like and look like. It's back to my old story about the beach is supposed to have more breeze. Where's the breeze? I can't enjoy the beach because there's not enough breeze. Well, just stop and feel what it feels like not to have the breeze. Feel what the beach feels like in this moment and get present, Mark. And everything shifts. So what I did is I watched the thought, I felt the emotion and observed the reaction. I was reacting like I can't be happy here because I wouldn't get enough breeze. Until I let go of that idea and said, oh wow. I let go of this thought and believe that I can't be happy with that. Maybe I could be happy with the breeze I do have. You know what happened? As soon as I quit worrying about the breeze, a nice breeze flew up. So I guess that's manifestation right there. That's manifesting it. My heart wanted to see a breeze, so we created a breeze together. But I let go of the outcome. I wasn't attached to, well, I'm not going to be happy here, God, if I don't get enough breeze. I'm like, the breeze would be nice. Let's create a little more breeze. Okay, let's create some more breeze. We did. Maybe that's a distinction between manifestation and desire. So, right? So, says don't make a personal problem out of them. Yeah, I can make a personal problem out. I can't enjoy the beach because I don't have enough breeze. You will then feel something more powerful than any of these things. You will then feel something more powerful than any of those things that you observe. The still observing presence itself. Behind the content of your mind or the silent watcher. Intense presence is needed when certain situations trigger a reaction with a strong emotional charge, such as when your self-image is threatened. A challenge comes into your life that triggers fear, things go wrong, or an emotional complex from the past is brought up. In those instances, the tendency is for you to become unconscious. The reaction or emotion takes you over. You become it. You act it out. You justify, make wrong, attack, defend, except that it isn't you. It's the reactive pattern, the mind in an habitual survival mode. Identification with the mind gives it more energy. Observation of the mind withdraws energy from it. Identification with the mind creates more time. Observation of the mind opens up the dimension of the timeless. Which would you rather have, more time or be timeless? Which would you rather have? $1 billion or the keys to the gates of heaven? My spiritual teacher once asked me that I was upset about $5,000 that I had lost in a business deal. And she listened to me agonize for a few minutes. And then finally she said, Martin, let me ask you a question. Why are you so upset about $5,000 when you and I both know you hold the keys to the kingdom? Meaning I have realized the truth of who I am. You can create all the $5,000 you want if that's what you want. And that's what we're talking about here. Let go of these petty needs and petty desires for pleasure. And you've got the keys to the kingdom. And when you just enjoy the beach, my God, the joy you feel just from being on the beach, breeze or no breeze. Observation of the mind opens up the dimension of the timeless. The energy that is withdrawn from the mind turns into presence. Once you can feel what is meant to be present, it becomes much easier to simply choose to step out of the time dimension whenever time is not needed for practical purposes and move more deeply into the now. This does not impair your ability to use time, past or present, when you need to refer to it for practical matters. Nor does it impair your ability to use your mind. In fact, it enhances it. When you're not trapped in the belief that's it, then you can use it to travel through this dimension. You see, there's two dimensions. There's the vertical and the horizontal. The vertical is the being, infinite being, infinite life energy. That is the vertical axis. We're traveling on a vertical, on a horizontal axis, and the horizontal axis is time. So we need both. But if we're so trapped on the horizontal axis, and we forget that we're actually the vertical axis, then we get trapped. So we let go and we find out that we're actually at still point of moving through this dimension infinitely. In fact, it enhances us. When you do use your mind, it will be sharper and more focused because the mind will be the servant of presence instead of the other way around. So the freedom we get from that. The enlightened person's main focus of attention is always the now. It's always that point where the intersection is happening. But they are still peripherally aware of time. We're aware of both dimensions. We're aware that we are this infinite life source connected to the top and the above and the below. But we're also aware that we're moving through this dimension. So we might want to plan our week and plan our day. The trap is, don't get caught at what you plan is not what actually happens. Give yourself the freedom and the flexibility to trust that whatever does come up is actually the right step to take, because you're not forcing the world to be your way. You're allowing the universe from the vertical to run our lives and lead us through it. In other words, they continue to use the clock, but are free of psychological time. In the normal mind-identified or unenlightened state of consciousness, the power and infinite creative potential that lie concealed in the now are completely obscured by psychological time. Read that one more time. In the normal mind-identified or unenlightened state of consciousness, meaning at the lower realms of consciousness, the physical and the mental realm, your life then loses its the lie concealed in the now are completely that lie, the power and the infinite creative potential that lie concealed in the now are completely obscured by psychological time. We get trapped in psychological time. We think chronicle time and is the same. Your life then loses its vibrancy, its freshness, its sense of wonder. The old patterns of thought, emotion, behavior, reaction, and desire are acted out in endless repeat performances. A script in your mind that gives you an identity of sorts, but distorts or covers up the reality of the moment, of the now. The mind then creates an obsession with the future as an escape from the unsatisfactory present. See, you've made the present unsatisfactory by a conditioned mind. Going back to my beach now, I decided to make my moment at the beach unsatisfactory because I had a preconceived idea that there needed to be more breeze. And if I sit there and obsess it on the realm, then I'm probably going to be irritated until more breeze comes along. And then it won't be enough. It'll be too much. What you perceive as future is an intrinsic part of consciousness now. What you perceive as future is an intrinsic part of your state of consciousness now. If your mind carries a heavy burden of the past, you will experience more of the same. The past perpetuates itself through lack of presence. The quality of your consciousness at this moment is what shapes the future, which of course can only be experienced as the now. So it's the quality of this moment, loving it, accepting it, embracing it exactly as it is. That is what's going to influence the future. And that takes a lot of faith and practice. So let's meditate. That's enough talking from me. Let's meditate. Let's get into the now together. So I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes. You're going to hear 3 interval timers in the middle somewhere. That's going to wake us up along the way. So let's raise your arms up in the air, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Feel that wonderful presence of life in the now. Feel in the now. Feel the presence of life. What lifted your arms is life present. Yes, you used your muscles and your body and your arm, but what lifted the arm just now is life. It is so close that we often forget what it is. We get so caught up in all the other doing. So just with gratitude, raise your arms in a celebration of this wonderful, wonderful moment right now in life. So that's all it is. And let go of everything else. Now bring your hands down into your heart space. Just hold your heart for a moment. In a place of compassion, and love, and generosity, and appreciation, and gratitude for this moment right now. And if you notice your mind trying to come in and project the future, Just say, let go. Just trying to judge the world, not enough breeze, just the right amount of breeze. Let it all go. It's absolutely perfect, just the way it is. You are absolutely perfect because you're divine. We are divine. I am divine. You are divine. That is the truth. Wake up from the nightmarish illusion that we're here, that there's only a short period of time and we have to get it right. That's not true. Yeah, it's true that Martin Coward's going to be here, but that's that's the cycle. That's the cycle of life. Everybody gets to go on to the next part of the journey, wherever that looks like. I have no idea what that is, but I know this for sure. The more I let go of my ego and my mind, I get to enjoy. So just let go. Fall into the presence of love and begin to breathe. And feel the rhythm of your breath and be still. And be still and know that you are God. Not you, Mindy, Audrey, Jim, or so. Not you, that individual sitting in that chair. But the life that's sitting in that chair. The life in you. The life that's hearing my voice. And the life that's speaking. That's one sub force that's running everything. It's wildly intelligent. Much more intelligent than my little ego thinking mind. It's right there within us. So just let it, hold it. Allow yourself to love yourself more fully. Love your God and love your neighbor. No thinking, just love. Feel your way into the deeper recesses of your soul. And let go. And breathe. And breathe. Be still and know that I am God. Not me, Martin. I am. Be still and listen. Be still and listen. That still small voice that's here, always here, to guide us through this day. Open your heart and your mind to the practice of being divine. Be divine. Just be divine. And let the divine do the doing. Welcome back. How was your journey? What's it feel like to practice being divine? Mindy, I had a thought came up in my meditation about your question about manifesting and desire. And I think it's like, are you looking for an external, something outside yourself to feel satisfied? Or is it coming from within you? Manifestation is an outpouring of love within us to create something of value. And the reciprocal nature of that is that I'm going to feel a sense of joy from that. I'm going to experience joy. It's like the difference between perhaps seeking pleasure and finding joy. If I'm out looking for things to entertain me, to feel pleasure, that's a whole different path of me opening my heart to experiencing joy in this moment. Nothing happens to happen. Another great example of that is the difference between being nice and being kind. Most of us are nice because we want something in return. Let's be honest with ourselves. I was just as nice as I could be to that girl, and she still didn't invite me to a party that, you know what? That's nice. I was just as nice as I could be, and she still didn't invite me to her party. I'm gonna quit being nice to her. Now, that's not an act of love. That's an act of manipulation from the ego to get its way. However, when there's no quid pro quo, the act of kindness is an immediate experience of something more profound. The act of kindness is an immediate experience of the generosity within ourselves expressing itself in the world. And that's the subtle difference between practicing being divine and getting out of our heads. So it's a great question. It's a great thing to think about. Any other questions coming up today as we practice the art of being divine? That's my mantra when I'm in Puerto Rico. My intention in Puerto Rico is to practice the art of being divine. Great place to practice. Breathe or no breeze. It's a great place to practice the art of being divine. Becoming aware of our true nature. Truly, truly living in it. Letting go of any need I have. God knows I've got to have any need to control the world. That's freedom. That's real freedom. So let go of the illusion. You're timeless. I'm timeless. I'm infinite. Enjoy the moment. May love and prosperity prevail. Thank you so much for joining me today.